What's up, my people? Alright, I think this is working. It is Friday, my dudes. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Man, what a week. I hope you guys had a good week. It sounds like my microphone's a bit too loud. Let me just reduce that volume. If you guys can hear me, that is great. Oh man, today's topic is going to be crazy, man. I've just been having a lot of thoughts over the week, and I thought, what I'm going to talk about this weekend. And first of all, what the hell happened yesterday? I tried to go live. Some of you joined, and I wanted to stream this game, Spider-Man, and I don't know what the freaking hell just happened. I went online, the connection was all okay. I started streaming the game. I hadn't connected my microphone though. And then I started playing, and then I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, the connection just dropped and everything just fell apart, and no one could hear me, no one could see anything. I started the stream 3 times, and it just I don't know what the hell happened yesterday. It was just a bad connection. But anyway, we're here. For those of you that have just joined, I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Do hit the like and subscribe button. You know the dealios, man. Another milestone that I kind of hit with the channel. I just got notified yesterday. Was it yesterday or yeah, actually yesterday. No, actually 3 days ago. I just finally hit 5,000 views on this channel, and this is because of, like, being consistent, just putting content out here, even if it's just shitty content and shitty topics. Who gives a shit, man? The main thing is I do what I love what I do, and just focus on yourself and focus on things that make you happy, and just share knowledge and share information and build a community. And that's what this whole thing's all about. I remember when I started this year, I can't believe, like, the year is almost ending now. I started this year and I thought, I said I'm going to be consistent as possible to try and release content at least every weekend. Obviously, when I traveled to Kenya, I couldn't really do that. That was family time and personal time. I just needed that 2-month break, 2-month vacation. But yeah, it was good. I'm seeing the results. Like, YouTube just notified me yesterday that I hit 5,000 views, and I was like, holy shit. I know for most of you guys, 5,000 not that much. Some of you already have like 1,000 views on, like, one video. But even if, like, I got 30 views or 40 views on each video, that's my hard-earned work. Like, I've sweated, I've written some content, I've typed some material down so that I can discuss it with you guys. And that's the whole point for me. This is building my own personal skills in terms of, like, my ability to articulate my thoughts, my ability to be well spoken, and just socialize with the community and just build a community out of it. So that's what I get out of all of this. And it's good. It's good. So anyway, today's topic, I want to talk about smart devices and dumb people. I had this thought, like, and I think we've seen it over the generations, that our devices are getting thinner, smarter, and are able to do so much more. And yet here we are becoming lazier and fatter and more dependent on these devices. And it really got me thinking, like, maybe I should talk about this. I think this would be something that kind of makes sense. So yeah, here's the topic, man. So we've got algorithms that drive these smart devices, and these devices are storing all your information. They're sending all this information up to the cloud, right? All of it, like, literally. So you're not memorizing anything. When was the last time you memorized someone's phone number, or you memorized an event, or you went to do something and you remember what you did? No, you just went there with your phone, you started taking pictures, and then you uploaded those pictures to the service, whatever, Instagram or TikTok or whatever you guys use. And then you forget about it, right? It's stored there. It's there. You've got that idea in your mind that, okay, this is where I'm going to go if I want to find my memories. So they're all stored in the cloud. And so what the hell is our brain doing? So that's the question that I have to ask, is the smarter these devices get, the smarter the technology becomes, the better these algorithms are in efficiently storing all this information and doing these things for us. What are we doing then, and and then the other question is, so if it frees up our mind and it frees up our ability to do more stuff, what more stuff are we doing, so these are the kind of questions that I have, right? So I was like, let me just talk a little bit about this. So algorithm to decide what to watch solidifies your views on a certain topic. So this is another point. So you get on a platform, you start watching content about something. Let's say, for instance, I start watching content about flat Earth. I'm pretty sure we've already heard about communities and small niches of people following flat Earth and believe that the Earth is flat. And so, if I was to watch one or two of videos on, let's say, for instance, Instagram, I'd scroll and I'd see a video about flat Earth, and then it fast. I'm like, what the hell is this nonsense, right? And then if I pause there for a second, the algorithm's like, oh, this guy actually paused at this part on the screen, on the scroll, on the timer, on the timeline, or whatever it is, and he was interested in viewing this content, so we should show him more of this content. And so it's doing the thinking for us of, in terms of, oh, this is the kind of content we believe that this user is going to like because they stayed on the screen or they stayed on the platform longer when we showed them this content. So you see, so these are the kind of algorithms we're dealing with these days. They're tracking what kind of content you're looking at. Have you liked or subscribed to a certain channel? Have you, so all these things, all this metadata is being collected on you to build like some kind of a profile about you. And then from that profile, they're able to say, let's do the decisions for you. Let's make these decisions for you. We don't want you to do the thinking. No. Your brain shouldn't do any thinking whatsoever, man. We are the smart devices. We'll do the thinking for you. The fucked up thing is, I work as a developer. I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, a lot of work and hard work that goes into just developing these apps and these different softwares so that it can make you, the consumer, your life easier. But at what cost? At the cost of you not using your mind. And so we're going to get to more details about, where I'm, the point that I'm trying to make about. So we've got all this software, we've got all this technology. It's doing all these fascinating things for us, but we're not thinking then, right? We're not utilizing our mind, okay? You're not utilizing your brain to think, come up with solutions, think outside the box, make connections between two learned things. Like if you've learned something and you've learned another thing. So you've learned part A, you've learned part B of something. Your mind subconsciously then makes that connection and says, okay, actually you can link these two things that you've learned together and actually apply it in a different solution or a new solution whatsoever. And it's not happening. We're not doing that anymore. We're just consuming content. We're just feeding our brains with all this nonsensical information that we're not even storing in our minds, right? And then anything that we feel might be challenging to our mind, what do? We task it off to an app or the software, basically. So for instance, oh, I don't know how to divide this by that. Obviously, just use a calculator. But I'm talking about bigger things like, okay, we've got food delivery apps these days. We've got taxi apps. We've got all these different apps to do things for us to make our lives easier. But it takes off this mental processing power off our minds. Yes, we're calling it stress. Oh, it's more convenient, but at the cost of you not utilizing your mind and utilizing your ability to think outside the box. Critical thinking comes out of that. It's like when you've got knowledge and you've stored information in your mind and you've learned something, critical thinking is the ability to then use that information to solve another problem that is completely brand new, because you're able to make these connections in your mind that, okay, this is solution. This is a problem that I learned how to. So for instance, let me give you a perfect example. You know how to change a light bulb and you know how to climb a ladder, right? You place the ladder on the wall. Make sure it doesn't slide. So you know how to climb a ladder and you know how to change a light bulb. It's so easy, right? You have a lamp. You just go, you change the bulb. You just, if it's a pin type or a screw type, you can pin it out. You can twist it and remove it and replace it. You make sure that it's switched off before you even start doing that. So, you've learned all of these things. Then you come up across a new problem where a bulb maybe is on the ceiling. So you'll have to use a ladder and combine it with now changing the bulb. So it's like these two things, your mind has subconsciously just connected them together and said, oh shit, that's how I'm going to solve this problem because I know how to do this and I know how to do that. If I combine them together, I can do that. So your mind, when you're sleeping, when you're not consuming content, when you're not using your mind to do something, that's the time that your mind is, making these connections from the knowledge that you have saved in your well, I'm not saying saved, but you've learned in your head. So, but we're not doing that anymore. We've got our apps to do that thinking for us. We've got social media, we've got YouTube, we've got all these content providers that give us unlimited sources of information into our minds, and we're not even letting our minds relax and sleep and rest and recover. A mind is like a muscle, basically, at the end of the day. Just the way you go to the gym and you exercise your body, you exercise your muscles so that they can build up. Your mind is the same thing. The less you use it, the less it's going to be useful, So if you're always, tasking other people or tasking other apps or softwares to do all this thinking and processing for you, you're going to use less mental capacity. You're going to, you'll lose, basic soft skills will definitely go. Your ability to sit in a room and communicate and socialize with people, that's going to go because you're always, using technology to do things for you. So, so there's so many things that we can talk about, right? So letting the apps do the thinking for us. Stop scrolling to be tracked on location and push content to you. Blocks your ability to be creative and think outside of the box, obviously. I think that is like one of the biggest things. And I think in the future, the more we get so accustomed to being online and constantly using software and apps to do things for us, I kind of believe like the future is people who will be able to think outside of the box and just come up with solutions without either Googling them or are able to recollect ideas and information from their minds without using any form of technology. I think those kind of people are going to be very valuable in the future because the trend that we're seeing right now it's ridiculous, man. Blocks your ability to form new ideas, obviously. Inability to hold a simple thought in your mind as the attention span has been reduced. So let's talk a little bit about attention span because that's another thing that I've kind of noticed. And even with my content and with my videos, I've noticed like if I'm not saying something that's too jarring or crazy, it's like people just lose interest. And, I'll have people watch for like a couple of seconds, like 30 seconds or so, and then they'll just lose interest and move on. And you've ever wondered why you just get bored so quickly? It's because you're consuming content that's constantly changing, that there's so much content out there. First of all, YouTube in itself, I think I even put that in my notes here. 3.7 million videos are uploaded to YouTube in a day. So we've already got enough content. There's too much content out there on all these platforms. And that's just YouTube alone. We're not even talking about TikTok and Instagram. So you can imagine how much content is out there. And we've got all this information. We've got access to all this information. So you feel like you're missing out. If you're watching my content, for instance, you're watching this video, for instance, you start feeling like, am I missing out on something? Maybe I don't want to be bored. Oh, this guy's not talking something. He's not saying something that's entertaining or exciting. So I'm going to go and watch something else. And then even when you watch that, it's not after a couple of seconds or minutes, you're like, oh, this is so boring. I want to watch something else. Because the social media apps, especially TikTok, which is the worst. And I think even WhatsApp has these stories of 30 seconds, nothing longer than 30 seconds, because they know that after 30 seconds, you're completely like, I want to watch something else. I want to watch something new. You're just constantly feeding your mind with new content every couple of minutes. And so your brain then adapts to that kind of form, that kind of content and that way of digesting or consuming content, which is just madness, so you're not used to staying on one topic, staying on one task and just doing it all the way, because your mind is used to that dopamine hit of like constant context switching, constant new information just being dumped into your brain. And then when you just it's like an addict basically. And so when you let go of that suddenly, you start feeling that, you start seeing those withdrawal symptoms, which is crazy, man. Oh man, it's crazy. So context switching in content, and now even in the way that we work and socialize. For example, sitting on the table and eating dinner with the TV on and your phone on and everything on, it's just crazy. Even the way that we work right now, and I've kind of changed the way I kind of work now, even if I'm working from home, right? You still have all these distractions. You've got YouTube, you've got Netflix, you've got your phone with notifications on, you've got WhatsApp, all these things, right? And then you have to still do your work, and then you have to do meetings, right, with your boss or whoever your line manager is going to call you and stuff. So you've got all these things just distracting you and telling you, "Hey, give me your attention," right? So what's happening is you're not able to work at 100%. You're not able to focus. Look at one task. Just look at one thing and just freaking do that one thing. You're not even able to do that. How? Why? Because your mind has to keep on thinking about, okay, someone just distracted me. Let me see what that person's doing. So your focus is diverted from whatever you were just working on, and now you have to now focus on that other thing that just asked for your attention. And that's just messed up. So every time you switch that context, you're losing time. You're wasting time basically at that point. So and that's something to even think about. And that's what technology is doing for us these days. And if you don't put that under control, at the end of the day, what are you trying to achieve? What you want to achieve, you wouldn't be able to do it because you're just wasting so much time switching between different tasks constantly. So it's really messed up. Let's see what else is there. YouTube allows me to track for how long you watch the video. I already talked about this. And so it's trying to force me to create content that will grab. So even me as a content creator, I've kind of noticed it's like, if I don't put like clickbaity type of content, or if I don't say something that's too crazy or engaging, it's like people just lose interest so quickly, and it's just something so interesting to me that, it's is it because of the access of all this information that we have, all this content out there? Yeah, absolutely. You know, your mind will become what you feed it. So if you eat junk food, you'll become fat. If you watch junk shit like TikTok, you will become trash. Your mind will just, you are what you eat. You are what you consume. I absolutely believe that, and people don't think about that, at all. People don't even think about it at all. It's like, yeah, I know eating junk food is going to really harm my health, but what about your mind? Your mind, which is the most important part of your body. Forget your health, your mind, what you think, your thoughts, the way you think, because that then changes everything else, isn't it? The way you think will determine then how you eat. It will determine how you behave, how you carry yourself as an individual. And a lot of people are not, they're not even aware of this. Like, they're just subconsciously, oh, it's just a funny meme video on YouTube or a funny meme video on TikTok. I'm just going to watch it. And the next thing you know, you've been scrolling and watching content for 3 days. So it's so messed up, man. We have so many apps to do almost anything these days. Get a meal, fix your car, get a ride, get a date, get items delivered to your doorstep, and do automated things like setting up your chair and delivering it to you. So this was another funny thing I kind of noticed with Amazon over here, is like when you order something, they like this chair, for instance. When I ordered this chair, there was an option for someone to assemble the chair for you. Now, obviously, if you're disabled or you're not able to do it yourself, that absolutely you can always, check that box and pay the extra £5 or whatever and get that thing, assembled for you. But I mean, assembling a chair, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, guys. Like, what kind of a society are we living in? Is like we are automating almost everything and anything. It's like, what are you physically doing then? Which skills are you even gaining? Because if you don't physically do something, right, you're not gaining any skills. So then that's where the fatness comes in from. So you're just there with your very skinny device, but you're fat and just lazy and just like, I don't feel like cooking today. I'm just going to order some meals. I don't feel like going to the shops. I'm just going to order something online. And it's even happened to me, and I'm noticing this. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I just kind of see myself like, what is my mind going to be like, 5-10 years from now, following this lifestyle, this way of life. Oh, it's crazy. So here I was just talking about, having the skills to like replace a circuit breaker, change a tire, apply some silicone on some window or something, drill a hole into a concrete wall or something, mount a TV, for instance. I had a friend who didn't even know how to mount a TV. Now, I'm not saying that you're stupid or anything, but I mean, you know, doesn't it like intrigue you? Like you want to learn how these things are done. Like if you weren't able to call for help, or you weren't able to use an app to do it, would you be able to do it on your own? Obviously, like, I mean, just basic things that you use, just at least learn how they function, right? I mean, there's no harm in doing that, right? I mean, I just feel like technology is just making us lazier and lazier, and all our knowledge and all our personal pictures, all our content that we are supposed to be consuming and storing in our minds, we're actually uploading it to the cloud. I don't know. It's this is the world that we're living in right now, and it's just scary. Maybe a couple of years from now, we'll have clones of people, or maybe we'll have like robots that will be able to just download all your information, all the stuff that you've been uploading to the cloud. It'll just be able to download that information and behave and act like you. I don't know, man. It's a crazy future that that we're heading towards. So it's kind of scary at the same time. Um, Talking about taking a mental break. Oh yes, absolutely. Now, so we've got access to all this information. Like I said, 3.7 million videos are uploaded on YouTube in a day. In a day. I actually Googled how many videos can a person watch from the time that they were born all the way till the time that they die. How many videos can they watch? So I came across a link somewhere. Someone on Reddit said around 80 million. You could watch 80 million videos. That was if you did nothing else, right? 80 as a maximum, right? With an average of like 4 minutes per video. That's 80 million. And some videos are not 4 minutes. There's definitely longer videos. So even if we half that, 40 million, and in a day they're uploading 4 million, 3.7, 4 million videos in a day. So there will never be a time that you will be able to consume all the videos that are being uploaded onto the internet. It's completely impossible. There's no way that you can do that. But your mind already knows that. But you still feel like you're missing out, because when you watch something, you get bored. Your mind tells you, you can watch something else. You don't need to stay here. You don't need to keep watching this content. You can just watch something else, because the selection is limitless, and so then what happens with that is you're not giving your mind a break from consuming content. You're not giving your mind time to process what the hell did it just watch. There's a video you'll watch. You'll scroll, you'll go and watch another video. You're not giving your mind any time. You're not even taking a break from, if you've watched all this content. Even if you go to school, for instance, right? You'd have a couple of lessons, and then you'll take a break, and you'll have another couple of lessons. I mean, even lessons are like 40 minutes or 50 minutes long, not even longer than that. Because your mind can only handle so much information at some point. You can only consume just a certain dose of information in a day. And then your mind needs time alone to process this information so that you don't go crazy. But we're not even doing that. We're not even allowing our minds to just at least store, if not organize, at least store some of the content that we've watched. And it's, and you know how you can tell like you're overloading yourself with all this content. It's like, just ask yourself, do you even remember what video you just watched right now on YouTube before you clicked this video? Do you remember, without going back to your history or without pressing the back button? Could you just pause the video right now and just try and remember, what video did you just watch? Do you remember what video did you watch, or like 2 videos ago? You know, it's difficult. If you have a problem remembering that, then you've got a problem, man. You're someone who's consuming too much content, man, and you're really dependent on social media and all these social apps. The other thing that we need to think about is multitasking. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I can multitask. I'm able to do a lot of things in one go." And look at me, I've got my iPad here, my iPhone here, and my email there, and nah, you can't do that, man. Trust me, your mind is designed to focus on one task at a time. Here's a perfect example I can give you guys of like how your mind works, right? You ask someone a question to try and remember something that they did, let's say 5 years ago. If I asked you, for instance, hey, what did you do in 2019, or what did you do in 2020? What you're going to do, and you can see this in a facial expression. You've seen it before, is your eyes will look somewhere else. You'll start scratching your hair. You'll be like, because you're thinking. Your mind has disconnected your eyes as an input source and has gone back to the folders in the back there, and is now searching these folders and trying to look for that information. Right, it happens in a split second, but if you notice and you actually look at this stuff, and I think there are a couple of documents and articles about this stuff. Your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So so this is something that we are completely exploiting, and we're just we're told to believe that we can actually multitask. We can actually look at our notifications and also work and also read emails and join video calls and also go and look at the food that's getting cooked or something. We cannot do that. Yeah, I already talked about, do you recall what you watched before clicking this video? Yeah, if you have a hard time recalling, then your mind is mashed potatoes. So these were a couple of links that I wanted to just go through. So there was this one and there was this one. Yeah, I really liked what these articles were talking about. I hope I can open them. So yeah, so smart technology is making us dumb. So what's for the motion? What are people saying let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you guys can even read this with me. Oh, there we go. That's nice. That's even better. I think you guys can see this. Right. So smart technology grants us unprecedented immediate access to knowledge and to each other. So let's just look at the smart devices guiding us so much that we're making decisions. So for the motion, from autopilot to apps, our lives have become increasingly automated. By depending on devices instead of actively engaging in work or leisure, our cognitive skills fade away. So it's like, so all these soft skills that I talked about earlier, it's like, you see, we're automating everything and we're depending on these devices so much that it's like even work now. Yeah, work and leisure. Exactly. So it's like all of these things are just, being automated now. We're just clicking buttons and we can get entertainment. We're clicking buttons, we can get some work done. We're clicking buttons, we can socialize on the internet, But our ability to sit down face to face, because when you sit down with someone, their body language is giving you some information. Their voice and tone is giving you some information. The way they're dressed is also giving you some information. So there's so much information just from one face-to-face interaction. You can't get all of this information through the internet, right? Someone texting you. There was a meme I saw somewhere else that it also, the font kind of like gives you some kind of information about the person's how they feel about like a certain situation. So if they text you something like I know where you are, right? So if they say I know where you are and the font is in like some love heart, no, I will always find you. Yes, that's the word. I will always find you. And then it's written in fonts that are with love hearts and stuff. So it looks like as if this person is in love with this person and they will always find you no matter what. They always care about you. Then there was another side where it's the same text. I will always find you, but it was written in a font that looked like someone was scratching it with a knife. So that was giving you a different context. So I mean, that's just in font. Now imagine in person to person. There's all this information, all these skills that you need to learn to recognize when you're physically interacting with someone, and we're losing all of these skills. So that's something to think about, right? Uh, the internet, as the central medium by which we read, write, and learn, has fundamentally changed the writing of our brains, diminishing our ability to think deeply and critically. That's exactly what I was just saying a couple of minutes ago. Was like, if you've stored all this like you've learned something, you've memorized it, it's in your mind, right? Then at that point, your mind is able to then make the connections internally and be like, oh, okay, that's how you do this, that's how you do that. And you're able to then think outside the box. You're able to solve a new problem that you come across. And we're losing this ability because all these, the way we're storing information, the way we're learning stuff, right? These days, instead of learning the actual thing, we're learning where to Google to find something, right? So what we're learning is totally different than what people used to learn back in the days. You know, I used to go to school. Teacher would say something, that I would memorize that. I'd write a note, and I'd write some notes down. I'd memorize that. But these days, teachers coming in and saying, oh, this is where you can find this information from. So we're learning where to find the information. That's the information that we're storing in our minds. Where do we search for in the cloud? Like there was a job description where someone said one of the job requirements was the ability to Google. And I was just like, whoa. you know Humans are not effective multitaskers. What did I just say? And digital media's constant distractions weaken our focus and scatter our attention. It's as simple as that, guys. Instead of broadening our intellectual and social-cultural horizons, social media narrows our worlds to echo chambers. Yes, the echo chambers that was the first point that I just talked about. If you watch something, you read something, you see something, and the algorithm thinks that this is what you like seeing, that's the only shit that you're going to see. If you love watching skateboarding videos, the next time you open that app, the next time you open YouTube, the next time you open Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, you're only going to see what you just liked and subscribed to, nothing else. So you are in an echo chamber. The platform is reassuring you and just solidifying in your mind that this is the best content that there is. It's going to show you the best of the best in that category, in that field, and you will just be in that constant loop of just looking at the same thing. Tech giants know more about us than we know about ourselves. Oh man, this was the most scariest line ever. And it's true, because we're uploading everything about ourselves to the internet. We're uploading everything that we do, all the people that we talk to. It's all out there on the internet. It's all up there in the cloud. So this YouTube video, for instance, me talking about all of this stuff, it's all going to be on the cloud. All this information is out there. And my mannerisms, the way I speak, the way I look, it's all in the cloud. This video is being analyzed by people on YouTube. They're analyzing me and how I behave and how I talk and how I present myself. They know more about me than I know about myself, man. So, as they relate to us as mere consumers, as data, we lose our autonomy. Some scary stuff, man. But on the flip side, the digital revolution has reinvented knowledge, replacing traditional constraints with open, limitless networks. With the internet, humans can work together to infinitely scale knowledge. So that's kind of cool, So we have improved the ability to work and collaborate together. if we are working together towards a specific goal, then yes, this is the perfect tool, you know. With our 24/7 hyper-connected networks, knowledge has been demo democratized, giving increasing agency to everyone everywhere. The efficient, seamless presence of digital technologies has freed us from menial tasks, thereby opening space in our heads for higher pursuits. But now that was the question that I had initially was, fine, now I have ordered my food through Deliveroo, for instance, and I know that I don't need to spend 1 hour going to the kitchen to cook food. What will I do with that 1 hour? And most people will end up either watching a video, looking at some ridiculously stupid thing on the internet, some memes, you know. So I think the question is like, are we responsible enough to use this powerful tool of technology? And I think the answer is no, because I think not a lot of people are aware of uh, the the side effects. I mean, not the side effects, but the consequences of misusing this technology. I think maybe we're not aware of how powerful this media is. This tool is, and if we don't, you know, treat it with respect and and use it with some kind of, like, you know, consequence, like we need to use this tool. What's the word that I'm looking for? I can't even remember what the word I'm looking for is. But if we use it in a sensible fashion, yes, you know, then I think there is hope. But from the trends that I'm seeing on social media and the trends that I'm seeing on TikTok and Instagram, and you know what people are doing out there, I don't know, man. I kind of losing hope, man, with humanity. Technology is what we make it, not vice versa. Yeah, there was something about. I think there was a point I made about this somewhere. Um, our brains are like any other muscle in the body. If we do not use it, think about. I'm not saying cut yourself off from all tech. I'm saying cut yourself off tech that's not improving your mental well-being. If you're not creating, engaging your mind with technology, then that technology controls you. Yeah. So if you're using technology that you are not able to create, engage, and think outside the box, and it's not giving you that ability to make your own decisions, then I kind of feel like that technology is controlling you to a certain extent. Yeah. Interesting. So I mean, this point was, technology is what we make it, not vice versa. So far from mindless passive consumers, people across the world are actively engaging with technology to better their lives and societies. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. Smart technologies, dumb people. Yeah, all these articles are just really interesting. There was something here that I really wanted to share. Where was it? Where was it? I was reading it over here. Take away the smartphone from the addicted user. What do you expect to see? Yes, he's lost his autonomous abilities. Technology gives us access to infinite knowledge, but we do not retain it. We just consume it when it is needed. Whenever we need some information, we just Google it, don't we? The same thing happens in other spheres of our lives. For instance, we all know that smart homes is a great deal. Smart systems offer their owners automated services, self-maintenance. All you need a smart system to work is update the software and connect your house to the web. The householders need neither learn receipts of dishes nor practice knowledge in the kitchen, because the smart home can cook and bake through a button. What a convenience. um, Consider the primitive for today. autocomplete function in smartphones, you'd wonder what's about it. The essence of this harmless function is to complete the word you type in a message. People forget the spelling of words because they have no need to memorize them. How fucked up is that? You should say, why should they, when they have an autocomplete? This fact today is known as the Google effect. Quite a substantial term, isn't it? A recent research conducted by Kaspersky Labs states that approximately 90% of people suffer from digital amnesia. The research provides statistics gathered through the survey, which shows us that about 70% of people do not know their children's phone numbers, and 50% have not memorized their spouse's numbers as well. Yeah. This is the Google effect. We do not commit data to our memory because we are just a click away from it. We've got cloud services, we've got the internet at such an it's so readily available that why should I memorize something that I know that I can just click a few buttons and I can retrieve from the cloud, and it will probably be more accurate than my own mind. And so we're told. What happens if something happens to the cloud, if the internet goes down? I remember the time when WhatsApp went down. I started receiving emails and text messages. It was crazy. Like, people just started panicking. That was some crazy shit, man. Yeah, this is exactly what I was just saying. The internet simply changes our attitude to information and the way we store it. According to Maria's idea, we are good at remembering the sources of the needed information. Wow, that's just some crazy shit, man. We are memorizing where the information is stored. We remember sites. We remember where in the chat history we talked to a certain person. Yeah, this condition extends to photos. In 2003, Fairfield University has conducted a study which proves that taking photos cuts down our memories. The participants of the survey were asked to examine the museum. Those participants who took photos of subjects memorized fewer objects and details than those who simply just observed them. And this was something that really made me think. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and she was like, how come when you travel to, like, you go to Paris and you go to all these places and you don't take pictures? I'm like, if I take pictures, how the fuck am I supposed to even remember these? You're supposed to be in the moment, enjoying, just looking at the view, looking at what's out there, not going with your fucking phone just there constantly, like, and you're going to upload these photos and you'll never look at these photos yourself, and you're going to post them on social media so other people cannot look at them. So then this was kind of like true, because in 2020, when everyone was in lockdown, everyone was working from home, and they were just constantly consuming content. They were not utilizing their minds, and a lot of people were not able to even recall what they did in 2020. There were some people that complained, like, 2020 is just a blur, I wasted my life. But I think that was because we were all locked inside. But I mean, yes, you're locked inside, you get bored. So what do you end up doing? Instead of being productive and maybe learn something or build something or start a project, you end up down this deep rabbit hole of meaningless memes and it's fucked up, man. Oh man, it's fucked up, man. So, I mean, yeah, this article was really crazy. I think I'll put this in the description. But yeah, I mean, some of these things. I mean, when you just think about this, it's just crazy, man. Well, anyway, guys, I really do appreciate for those of you that did join and were part of this discussion. For those of you that weren't, you'll probably just watch this the next day, I guess. I really do appreciate it, guys. For checking out the content and making me hit 5,000 views. I mean, it's yeah. I feel kind of like I've accomplished something. And plus I can always go back to each and every one of my videos and see what kind of content I created, and the information's there. and just building myself up and building the channel up, and it's with you guys and your help. So I really do appreciate it, guys. Anyway, fantastic. Have a fantastic weekend. And I will probably try and do a gaming session tomorrow, probably, maybe, not 100% sure. Yeah. All right, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. Peace.